Chevy showroom here at the Falls Auto Group here in Corbin, Kentucky. Back on the Tri-County Sports Hour on Mix 96.1. If you were listening to the last segment, I was having some trouble with my numbers. So it's 96.1 the last time I checked. So apologize for that. I'll do better, Michael. See, the boss sitting here next to me, a little nervous.
Like I said, Steve, you're the boss tonight.
All right. Well, during the break, got some news that Coach Russell is in transit, so he should be here anytime, and we can talk to him about things that are going on with the team and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, and a special shout-out to JT Elliott. Now, JT, if you're going to make comments, you need to be here. Quit texting me.
Yeah, someone made a good point earlier. He had knee surgery, I believe, but he didn't have mouth surgery. So yeah, I definitely agree with you, Steve. He could have been here, but I think he's trying to use me as what's the saying, as kind of a guinea pig.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm kind of surprised that I'm not getting texted about it, but that's okay. I'm sure you will. And if you're out there, JT, which I'm sure you are, we hope you're doing better, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's right. We hope you're doing better than JT. All right, well, let's get on with the Week 2 action. I will hit a little bit on the Knox Central Pulaski Southwestern game. Again, when Coach Russell gets here, we talk a little bit more about that. But in that particular game, the final score 26-15. The Warriors on top. Pretty close game on the onset. Not much going on in the first half, but a couple of special teams plays, if you will. Nick Martin, freshman on the team, 36-yard field goal to start the scoring against the Warriors, and then the Warriors immediately on the ensuing kickoff run the ball back 86 yards. JP Vaught for the Warriors, and it puts the Warriors on top. Southwestern takes a 13-3 lead into the half, and they stretch out the lead. At one point, it was 26-9. Knox Central does score a touchdown on the last play of the game to make the score 26-15. Panthers now 1-2 on the season. When we talk about the schedule that we have, we're going to talk a little bit more with Coach Russell when he gets there on that. So again, Knox Central moving to 1-2 on the season against Pulaski Southwestern. Let's go ahead and we talked about Whitley County, because Whitley County actually was not playing last week. So we got Whitley County out of the way, we got Knox County out of the way. Now let's go to North and Laurel County. And first off, South Laurel. And Coach Donnie Burdine taking his team against Rockcastle County. Again, South 0-2 on the season, hoping to break into the win column. Unfortunately, that was not the case, as it was all rock all the time in that contest. 40-6, your final score in that contest. Now, there's a couple bright spots for the Cardinals, and one of the things I know that Coach Burdine was wanting to do is try to get more attacking all around, but kind of get more developing into the running game. And Matt Hart, one of their top players, carried a lot of the load in that game. Only 74 yards, but on 18 carries. So again, a bright spot and something that they can improve upon. Their quarterback, Bailey Foltz, 3 of 14, 69 yards passing, did get one interception. Now, a bright spot on the defensive end, Jordan Patterson. I think he's a senior linebacker on the team. 9 tackles on the evening, 7 of those solo. Now, again, you're going up against a pretty good team there in Rockcastle County. Chase McClure, 171 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. Brent Lovell had 2 other touchdowns. He rushed for 111 yards. That was pretty much it for Rockcastle as they beat South Laurel 40-6. So again, I had a chance to talk to Coach Burdine on another outlet, and again, it's a work in progress, and I think he is encouraged about things that are going on. Of course, things that need to happen. But what do you say to a team where again, 4th coach in the last 4 years? What do you, as a coach yourself, have to do to kind of motivate someone that's in this situation to I guess, do what they can to play the best they can?
Well, once again, Steve, with the size of school that South Laurel is, and the the district and the things that they're involved in, it's hard to go through a rebuilding process at a school that size, because basically what's going to happen is you're playing powerhouses all the time. I mean, Rockcastle County is traditionally a powerhouse football team, no doubt about it. Every year you're having to rebuild when you're bringing in a new coach, new system, new people, everything. Everything completely changes, even throughout the summer, even throughout the winter months when we're conditioning, weight room, and stuff like that. It's learning basically how to ride a bicycle again. And once you go through that, especially if you're a senior on this football team, you've gone through that the last 3 or 4 years with change, learn a new system. When you implement a new system in football, it's a little bit different than what I do basketball. In football, you have 11 players that have to all have a job.
Yes.
Basketball, you have 5. That's half the battle.
There you go.
Football, you have 11 on the field, and that's just one side of the ball. Then you go to the defensive side, then you go to special teams and things like that. So it is a big task. You know, looking down through here, and we talked about it, Bailey Fultz, correct me if I'm wrong, was a freshman.
I believe, and we can fact check that later, but yeah.
When you have a school that size with a freshman quarterback starting, you're going to take some lumps, no doubt about it. But here's the thing, is the future only gets brighter. And he's learning every game, and he does things, and I know his bloodline. He'll be just fine. It's going to take some time. You know, Matt Hart, 18 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown. I don't think offensively is necessarily the problem right now. I think defensively, you look down here, and just the 2 backs I see, you give up 282 yards rushing.
Yeah.
You've got to learn how to stop the run at the high school level. There's no doubt about it. Make them, them throw the ball. A lot easier to stop the pass at the high school level than it is to run, unless you run up on just a superior quarterback. And there's several of those out there. Once again, I think Coach Burdine will do a great job. I'm sure, like everyone else, I'm going to say this, we hope he sticks around.
Well, in talking with Coach,
but we have to bring that up.
Well, and with talking with Coach Burdine, one of the first things he said, I said, what do you tell your team? And this guy kind of asked him the same question you did. He said, first thing I told him, I'm here. So if he's true to his word, hey, it's an opportunity, because South Laurel, at one time was a really good program. So why can't they be again?
Well, when you're exactly right. When you have that number of students walking the hallways, and you have those many young men to choose from, why can't you be good again? And why can't you be good again fast? And the reason being is, once again, you're implementing new systems, new programs. It takes longer than a year to learn those. It just does. There's no way around it, especially in football. Well,
hopefully they'll have the patience there as they go along. But again, they fell to Rockcastle 40-6 on the season. We'll talk about them later on in our Take It to the Bank picks. And then our last game of the Tri-County area, Michael, North Laurel, Coach Chris Larkey. A lot of good things happening over there on the north side of London as they went up to Nicholasville to take on West Jessamine. Now, a couple of things about this game. It got started 90 minutes late because of weather delays. But once the game got started, there was a little bit of concern. First play of the game, they fumble. Cole McWhorter and Steven Nelson having trouble with the exchange. Jessamine ends up taking that. A couple plays later, they score a touchdown, and then they're down. But then once they got their footing, and again, no pun intended with all the wet track and everything, Stevie Nelson, Cole McWhorter, and company did not disappoint. Steve Nelson, 163 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Also a couple of picks himself, so he does it on the defense as well. But Cole McWhorter, 169 yards rushing on the night, and a touchdown himself. As a team, here's a good stat, as a team, 15 carries, 410 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So, and another thing about this, you can go ahead and step across it. There you go. Now, you're not seeing this on the radio, but Coach Scott Russell has entered the building.
He's been outside looking at all these fantastic deals they have going on here at Falls Olive.
There you go. And he brought the belt. I appreciate that.
The belt is in the house.
And we're going to get to Coach Scott Russell here in a moment, but so it's good to have him in here. But now back to North. They are doing it on the ground. They use the ground and pound. What can ground and pound do for you? But they had a chance to get a little bit in the passing department with the lead that they had in that game. And McWhorter, 4 or 14. It doesn't sound, very, stat-wise, but hey, that, 4 passes in a game for North, that's a big deal. 60 yards. You got a touchdown out of it as well. So on the defense, I want to throw this in here. 3 games, 9 interceptions on the defense. So they're doing it on both sides of the ball, Mike.
Well, you're exactly right. And I think Coach Russell, since he's joined us, will agree. If you're rushing for 410 yards in a game, you don't have to pass the ball.
Exactly.
That's pretty simple. Even I know that. Once again, Nelson with 163 yards, McWhorter with 169 yards. I mean, you have a double-headed monster.
Exactly.
What are you going to do? There's no doubt about it. It's kind of like we talked about in the South game. First of all, it boils down to coming ready to play, making plays. Coach Larkey's been there for a while now. They have a system in place. Same size school. It's just 4 or 5 miles apart. What's the difference? The difference is you have someone established, been there, a system is in place. just like Coach Russell, we'll hear from here in just a few moments.
All right, very good. And some more about the game. It actually didn't go to full time limit. More weather issues late in the third quarter. They went ahead to decide to cancel or call it as it was at that time. North 49-13 had the lead to get the win, moved to 3-0 on the season. So that does it for the Tri-County in week 2. Again, we'll get to our picks later with Richie Grigsby and Michael Hensley for week 3, if you will. But when we come back from our break, we're going to talk with Coach Scott Russell, the head football coach of the Knox Central Panthers. So you're listening to Steve and Michael on the Falls Auto Group Tri-County Sports Hour on Mix 96.1.
Get an all-American deal from folks that you can trust. Made right here in the USA, all-American cars and trucks. They just don't talk the talk, they walk the walk. At Falls Auto Group, you'll feel the difference.
Back here at the Chevy showroom here at Falls Auto Group with the inventory clearance sale going on until 8 p.m. this evening. So if you get a chance, calling out and enjoy all the fun that's going on around here. Now, speaking of coming out and enjoying the fun, we've got Coach Scott Russell here in the hot seat, if you will, here. So again, Coach Russell, thank you for taking the time. I know your schedule's very busy with everything that's going on within the football program to be here tonight. So thank you.
No, I appreciate it.
All right. Couple of things about Coach Russell that you didn't know. He's in his 5th year now with Knox Central, 31-16 overall, and he has a district crown to his credit from last year. And also, he was part of one of the, I would say statistically, the best season in the program's career just a couple of years ago when they won 8 games out of the gate, finished 10-2 that year. I know that was a magical year. But a lot of big wins in his time here, and we may get to that here in a moment. But we just wanted to talk about real quick, and we do our review at the beginning of the game. And so I wanted to tell us a bit about your impressions of your game in the Appalachian Bowl with Pulaski Southwestern.
Well, I'll tell you what, looking back at the game, our coaches watching film and watching with our kids, it's a game of just missed opportunities. We had a couple opportunities early, felt like to put 14 points on the board. We did. We missed several tackles, had a couple of miscues on special teams that we normally do not have. But hats off to Southwestern. They're a very good football team, well-coached football team, and they capitalize when we did. And we've told our kids many times that when you have those opportunities, you have to take them because you're not going to get them very often. But again, defensively, we missed several tackles. We felt like that normally we make. Overall, just kind of feel like we played a little flat. Again, I really feel like in my heart that when they get away from us, we have opportunities. I feel like to win that football game. But again, it's all on the coaching staff, myself. A few things done different, maybe. We come up with victory, but our kids played hard. I would give them that. We never gave up. We kept fighting till the very end. So it's one of those games you're going to learn from, and that's with our schedule. I feel like one thing that's happened each and every week we have done things. We could have played last week and won by 50. We learned one thing about our team, but now we know what some things we need to work on. Hopefully, it's just going to make us better next week.
Now you talk about your schedule, and it is a murderer's row type schedule. I mean, you're coming off 3 weeks in a row where you're basically playing. I think it's the top 10, top 5 teams in the state in regard to Bryan Station, as well as Louisville Central, and of course Pulaski Southwestern. So, again, you kind of alluded to it, but overall, what are some things that you've seen now in your first 3 games that you could take into Harlan County that say, first of all, let's say the positives. What positives have you seen with your team so far that you can continue to pounce on as you get ready for the Blackbirds tomorrow night?
Well, one thing especially, I feel like our team is we get out there and we give 110%. Our kids are playing extremely hard. We're defensively, we've learned a lot of things about ourselves, especially when you go out and see the kind of speed that we saw the first few weeks. You kind of get an understanding of how important it is to be in your correct position as a defensive player. Whereas if you play somebody that doesn't have a lot of speed, you can make mistakes and you never find them out. But now we play teams that's going to exploit if you make a mistake, and it's made us play more disciplined football because if we didn't, we could have been blown out 3 times. But now our kids have gotten better each week and understand the importance of trusting each other. That's one thing we always try to, don't leave your wingman hanging out to dry. You never leave your wingman. We've got to do our job and trust your brother to do what he's supposed to do. And our kids are really starting to buy into that concept. So, if anything else, I feel like that's helped us more than anything.
Now, talking about your kids now, of course, you had a really good athlete last year, Matthew Barger,
Right.
who, play offense and defense. I know he's pretty big in the defensive secondary now, losing him. I know this year, again, hurt, but
Right.
what's happening there in the secondary that you're able to take and build on as you try to rebuild that? And again, I know he's just one player,
Right.
and there's other players going on, but what are some things that you've been doing to kind of counteract that?
Well, we've played several different people. We played some young kids, and we kind of not the set starter every week. We've had a couple of kids come in that Patrick Nelson comes off the mind. He's never played football. He came up this year. He's a center fielder, a great athlete, and he's really improved each and every week. Frankie Robinson doing a great job for us right now. He's one of our senior leaders right there. Corbin, he's kind of he calls it his own line. It's Carton Island out there. But he does a good job. He's a blanket cover guy. He's got great speed. Our kids are just playing really well right now back there, and especially after the first week when we kind of got torched a little bit with the speed of Brown Station. Kids kind of learn a lot about themselves,
Yeah.
And we've got better at that position every week.
Very good. Now, one thing I know that you're synonymous with is the running game, and that goes back to your days at Everett. So,
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know this, folks, this is a former Kentucky Mr. Football right here from Everett High School from back in the day. And actually, when he finished his high school career, he had the state rushing record at the time. Now, it's been beat since then, but hey, this is the man right here at one time. Tell us about your running attack, because that's something that's synonymous with you over the years, Coach. You've always had good people. I can think of Jeffrey Kennedy. I can think of Jonathan Giss, a G-Man, and you got Donathan Arthur Doolittle, this year. But tell us a little bit about what's going on there and the things that I guess that can, even better things that can happen with that side of the ball.
Right. Well, we feel like everything starts up front, and the more physical you are, I feel like in high school football, the more you'll be more successful. And we really feel like the running game is a very, very important part of our program. Kids take a lot of pride in being more, I guess, a run-first football team. But over the years, we've kind of started to, spread it out a little bit more. One thing that really surprised me, since you said that, looking at the game, I think our run-to-pass ratio was, 33 to 26 run to pass.
Okay.
And which is what you want to be. You want to be as much 50-50 as you possibly can. But now our kids, we've got a lot of talented running backs this year, not just one, so we've got several. We've been trying to spread the ball out a little bit. And we've got some physical kids, and we've got some kids that's got some speed this year. So that's been a big plus for us. And of course, Jackson being able to throw it around here and there a little bit, keeping people honest. But I always feel like you can win the game in the trenches up front, and you're more or less win the ball game.
And that's one of the things, over the years, and again, for those who don't know, I've up until this year been the public address announcer for the football team. So I'm trying not to be biased here or anything like that, but every year it seems like, okay, they've lost a lot, what do they got? But then it's just you surprise people because again, people coming up, through your feeder system and things seem to be going well, and so line is definitely very important. And you can't have a great running game if you don't have a great line. But it seems to have picked off where you've been from previous years.
Right, and a lot of it goes back to like you said, our feeder program does a great job in Barterville, Knox County. We do a great job with the young kids there. Got a lot of kids out playing. The biggest thing about that, you got young men that's coaching them and coaching them well, and our middle school program's doing a great job down there. And give Matthew a little props. He's actually went over to help the middle school and get into coaching. So, Matthew Barter's there, and Matthew's one of those kids that kind of knew the offense, kind of back of my hand. He kind of knew what I was thinking before I would say it. Talking about plays and stuff, but a lot of that goes to our young program, bringing those young kids up ready to play when they get to us.
So he's helping Kevin Merritt over there, giving some pointers, right?
Yeah, he is.
He needs some help over there, right? But Coach Vernon, they have a really good program over there. Always competitive.
Everyone does a good job with it.
Yeah. Now, again, a couple of things, talk about his great exploits at Everett's. And again, no one's ever going to break the Everett's all-time record of rushing. We know that. But he's also second all-time in rushing at Union College. Now, I have to ask you this, Coach. So, you're at Everett's and all this going on. How do you get from Everett, Kentucky to Banner Elk, North Carolina? And for those who don't know, he spent a year at Lees McRae College in Banner Elk before he came to Union.
It was real odd, I guess. Once I graduated, or not graduated, once football season was over, I had a perfect career, in high school until football was over. I went over to the basketball season and was getting recruited by South Carolina and Colorado and all these big schools. Then playing district championship and go for a layup and come down to the ACL's down. So tear my ACL, and then a lot of those people talk about scholarships, talk about walking on. So Coach Pate, which was formerly from here, I think he coached at Union for a number of years beforehand. And I think that's kind of where his ties came from. He actually has family in Baltimore. And he gave me a call, went to visit, and gave me a scholarship. And, that's history, that's what it was.
Oh, you're right. Well, I'll tell you this, I'm glad you were able to make your way to Union. And I was an employee at Union in the 90s, and it was a joy watching you play. And if you played 4 years at Union, you'd be the all-time Union rusher at Union bar none. I mean, you're 3 years, you're second all-time. But one thing I liked about, again, your play, I've said this to you before, time and time again, I think it's your enthusiasm, your personality, your passion in playing the game. You were always into that. And how do you take that and impart that on to your young men as you've coached now for the last 5 years?
It's tough because kids can see. I mean, they know. They know you can't fake stuff. If you try to fake stuff, they're going to see right through you. And we've got a very passionate staff. A coach like Chaz Martin. Chaz is always. If you've been to one of our ball games, I'm sure you've heard him from the sideline. But our kids, they see myself day to day and see how much we really care about them, how much we love the game of football, and that's the best way I can say it, I guess. Just say you got to show it every day, and once you show that every day, then it just kind of carries over on the weekends. So, we're a very energetic bunch, and we enjoy our football.
And I would assume you were probably energetic a couple of weeks ago when you had that big come from behind win against Louisville Central there in the Pigskin Classic, right?
It was one of those games where you look up and we score. Gosh, there was just 42 seconds left. Guys, we're going to win this game. So, it was kind of one of those games where, listen, our kids fought that whole ball game, fought back, and I was really proud of them for that.
Very good. Now, especially some of the, I guess, the to the victor goes the spoils. Now, Michael, can you hold that up for the people there on YouTube? If you don't get a chance.
Only if Coach Russell will allow me.
Okay, there you go. He's giving you permission. So if you check out the show on YouTube.
We will love this.
So there you go. And so he's holding that up. Now, that is the trophy from the Pigskin Classic. Now, we had Coach Haddix here last week. He brought his belt. I wanted you to bring your belt as well. What do you think about that?
Hey, listen, it's great. I mean, everybody gets a trophy. It's a plain old trophy. It's the same every year. It's great to have something a little different to look at, and something that's it's fun, and that's what it's about.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the district coming up. You've got a new team in the district this year in Wayne County. They've jumped a class into Class 4A now, but you've still got Clay County as well as Rockcastle County and Russell County. Now, you're the defending district champion, so you got something, there as you go into district play this year. I know you got a couple of games left on the schedule before district, but and I know you've been looking forward to that. What do you see in the competitive nature of your district this year?
I'll tell you, I feel like it's going to be a lot more even this year than it has been in the past. I feel like you got 3 teams probably that can win it, and I think and the other 2 teams are coming back. Russell County has been down. They had a big time graduation, kind of wiped them out, and they're building back and getting better each week too. But Wayne and Rock, they're one of those teams that they can get you any night. They're both very very talented football programs, both of them very well coached. Both of them play very good defense, which is going to keep you in most games anyway. And you know, Wayne County's kind of adopted this more wishbone stuff, running game. So as where when they went to state championship, they were, you know, kind of throw first type team, more spread. But now they control the clock, play great defense. They're going to be a tough team to beat. And you know, Clay County again, and they're on the field. So I actually talked with our coach this morning. He's doing a good job there. It's just going to take them a little time to get over the hump. But it's a very competitive district. It's one that you're going to go into. You can't take a week off, because if you do, you know, you're going to be sixth, second, or third.
Now, if we talk about the district now, even go bigger picture here, talk about the region. I mean, there's been some changes in Region 4 this year. I think it's Region 4, you correct me if I'm wrong, but, you know, Boyle County and Lexington Catholic no longer in 4A, and so East-West Jessamine are now in there. So I think there's a good possibility whoever makes it out of this district has a good shot at winning a regional title this year.
We do. I feel like whoever makes it out has an excellent shot. It's not like you're looking to the Kentucky Powers anymore. You know, I have Lexington Catholic and Boyle County, which there's quite a few state championships in that.
Just a few,
one of those two teams. But you know, you have Mercer County still over there. That's, you know, they always have a lot of talented school, and you still got Coach Hilton in Taylor County sitting over there. That you never know what he's going to pull out of his hat when playoff time comes around. So, but I feel like you know, our top three teams will be able to compete great with their top three. And, you know, so it's kind of be a toss-up, but we're really excited about our new regions. Hopefully we can come out there and get one.
I don't want this to be the kiss of death, but I've picked you to win the region, by the way, just letting you know.
Oh, I appreciate that. Hopefully we can make good on that.
No pressure. No pressure at all. Now, speaking of pressure, though, I heard you had to play basketball against this guy right here.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I'm trying to think back. It's been a long time ago.
Well, you got to understand something. It's not often you get the honor of playing basketball against football.
You know, I'm sure I was not scoring. I was just playing defense and trying to get rebounds. That was my MO.
Well, I mean, that's a big job also as well. But Coach Russell, there's one thing about it. Obviously, Mr. Football is a great athlete. There's no doubt about it. So I'm sure he could play anything. You know, even down to he's probably a golfer anyway.
Like a little bit.
It's okay, but you know, like I say, he's a great athlete, no doubt about it. And also, not only did it that, you know, I watched him play football, and you know, at that time in high school football, there was a lot of great teams, and
There was.
and a lot of great running backs, and you know, he could say he was the best. There's no doubt about it. He was really fun to watch.
I appreciate that. We had a lot of wars with Wayne County. From basketball to baseball to football.
Actually, I can remember one very well at Everett, I think in the snow.
Yeah.
About a 45-yard field goal there by Big Johnny Holland at the time.
Remember
that game.
I remember that vividly.
Oh, man.
That was, I think our team had 5 turnovers that game.
And in a classic Coach David Mitchell movie, wasn't moving the football, so he puts his 280-pound nose tackle
Which
back
was,
there.
that's not fair. I mean, here he is, 280 pounds playing power back and kicking our poor little defensive end out.
He could have led the state in rushing. It only took him 2,000 carries. All right.
Oh, man.
It's some oxygen.
That's a great spot. Well, Coach, wanted to thank you again for taking the time to join us this evening. And, you know, best of luck to you on you know, the rest of the season as you get into district and you win that region title.
All right. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the job you guys do covering our football teams around here. It's great for our kids too, but you know, people to hear about them a little bit. They get their name out there, but I appreciate what you guys do.
Excellent. Thanks again. So again, that's Coach Scotty Russell of Knox Central football team. When we come back, we're going to bring another person into the hot seat. That's going to be Richie Grigsby as we do a little take it to the bank. You ready for that, Michael?
I'm ready. I think I got this.
All right. Well, you're listening to Steve and Michael and Scotty here on the Tri-County Sports Hour, Falls Auto Group, Mix 96.1.
Right on the corner, right on the price. An old rivalry continues.
Hey, let me show what Lincoln has to offer.
Cadillac can do you better.
My Lincoln Touch.
Cadillac user experience with haptic feedback.
6 years, 70,000-mile powertrain warranty.
The all-new Cadillac CTS-V pushing 556 horsepower.
Park Assist.
Roadside assistance.
So which side performs the best? You decide at Falls Auto Group. Right on the corner, right on the price. North US Highway 25, Corbin.
back here at the Chevy showroom here at Falls Auto Group. Again, a clearance inventory sale or event going on till 8 p.m. this evening. Come out if you get a chance to check it out. Some good things happening here. Now, one thing to note before we get to our picks and our special guest, Richie Grigsby, we have Tim Bargo, who has been a guest on this show in the past. Hopefully be a guest on in the future as well. He's the director of First Priority here in the Tri-County area. And there's a First Priority event coming up on Wednesday the 16th over at the arena in Corbin. You can check it out. A couple people of note are going to be there. And as Clayton Jennings, a special guest speaker, as well as Cowboy Kenny Bertram. Now, I did not know this. He's a motocross rider, and he's also an X Games winner. So he's done a 30-foot backflip there on his motorcycle. And again, the week after that, on the 23rd, the annual See You at the Pole rallies that the schools do around the area. Again, good things happening with First Priority. Now, again, special guest picker, if you will, Richie Grigsby in here. Now, you got something to say to JT real quick?
Hey JT, I about got you last week, buddy. I got you this week for sure.
And of course, JT in true JT fashion would come back and say, hey, I'm 17-1 on the season. I got a 94% percentage win, and so I'm going to take it to the bank, right?
What game did he lose?
He lost to Knox Central. Lewis. There you go. So yeah. Well, a lot of people lost on that one. I don't know. Go ahead.
Did he lose the Lee Camp game too?
No, he did not. That's the only game he's lost. So.
All right.
Okay, now I have JT's picks here, and so I'm going to give his picks, and I'm going to let you guys give your picks as well. How's that sound? Good enough?
Sounds great.
All right, well, we're going to get right to it here. So, first one on the evening, Corbin against Danville. It's going to be over here at Campbell Field. You're going to be there as well. So, basically, you know, Corbin's got the numbers. They've got the feeder system, as JT says. They can platoon as well. He's going with Corbin in that one. That seemed to be a really hard pick. Michael, what do you got?
Well, once again, they have the feeder system. They have all that JT said. I'll give them a little shout out for that. Plus, they're at Corbin. They're the better football team. Two traditional powerhouses. Corbin wins. Take it to the bank.
Oh, right. Oh, there you go. You got to take it to the bank. Richie.
Yeah, JT. Big baby. It is going to be a tough game. Hard, tough game, but Corbin takes it.
All right, very good. Next game, Knox Central going in with a 1-2 record, taking on 1-2 Harlan County. Black Bear Stadium, they got the big old video board and real nice thing there. So JT basically, you know, Harlan County smaller. Knox Central should have no problem. Knox Central wins. Take it to the bank, as JT would say.
The big, large board, the big, nice stadium is not going to help Harlan County this week, no doubt about it. Knox Central loses to Southwestern 26-15. Harlan County loses 57-0. Knox Central wins. Shout out to Coach Russell. Take it to the bank.
All right, very good. Richie, what do you got?
I've got Knox Central running clock.
Running clock. Oh boy. Okay, very good. All right. South Laurel takes an 0-3 record down to Lee Majorsfield. Oh my old stomping grounds, the alma mater, as they take on Middlesboro. Both teams 0-3. Something's got to give. Who's going to win in this one? Well, JT, basically, he's picking Middlesboro. Middlesboro's going to win. Middlesboro's down. South's down as well. Needs to kind of again rebuild, but he thinks Middlesboro's going to take that one.
Well, once again, I will say this. I think if this game is not at Middlesboro, I think South Laurel wins, but I say Middlesboro does win. Once again, I think Middlesboro has been very competitive in their games. I think it should be a tough game for Middlesboro to win, but Middlesboro wins, take it to the bank.
All right, Richie.
South Laurel gets first win of the year.
All right, so where we go, our first different pick there. Excellent. Speaking of Laurel County schools, North Laurel takes the 3-0 record to Mason County. It's Stevie Nelson that JT says. It's all him. Again, he's going to get close to that, maybe that 1,600 plateau in rushing. Take it to the bank. North Laurel goes to 4-0.
After tomorrow night, Nelson may have 1,600 yards on the season. But once again, I do believe that North Laurel wins easily, and I'm going to pull a Richie here with a running clock. Take it to the bank, North Laurel.
All right, Richie.
North Laurel running clock.
All right.
I'm going with you, big baby.
I'm glad you got back.
After a week off, Whitley County 1-1 will go up to Nicholasville, take on West Jessamine, who's 0-3. JT's got Whitley County again because of their offense. Luke Woods and all world there. Took it to the bank, Whitley County.
Once again, West Jessamine proved that they couldn't stop the run. Whitley County, I think they come out ready to go. I think Whitley County does win this football game. I think West Jessamine will be a little bit more competitive than what they think. No doubt about it. But Whitley County wins. Take it to the bank.
All right, Richie.
Yes, Whitley County, take it to the bank.
There you go. And then our final game will be, Williamsburg's off this week, so we won't talk about them, but they're getting ready for that Cash Daniels, right, in Vanceville. That'll be another thing we'll talk about next week. But our final game, just down the road, it's going to be Lynn Camp, 2-1 on the season, taking on Berea, winless on the season so far. Now, again, it's military and first responder night, again, in the anniversary of 9/11. So all EMT, fire, police, paramedics, I believe they get in free. Is that correct or not?
I believe that is correct, but
Okay.
do not take that to the bank. But I believe that is correct.
I think JT had mentioned that they would get in.
I'm pretty sure
They
it
could
is.
take that to the bank. Nice punch.
And JT would know better than anyone, as he is the voice of Lynn Camp football. So I assume that's what is going on there.
So a lot of good things happening over there at Lynn Camp. I think they might be involved with the catwalk as well. I know that's a tradition that's going on over at Lynn Camp. Bottom line, JT's got Lynn Camp going to 3-1, 3 in a row. Michael.
Lynn Camp wins 3 in a row for the first time since 2008.
There you go.
And Lynn Camp probably puts a running clock on someone for the first time in a couple of years or longer.
Wow, okay.
And they better gear the sirens up because they're going to be going off a lot. Lynn Camp wins, running away, take it to the bank.
Lynn Camp wins. I'm with you, baby.
Lynn
Campers.
Campers. All right, very good. Well, thank you again, Mr. Grigsby, for taking the time. I love your shirt, by the way. You got to watch it on YouTube. It's a neon green, and you can't miss it.
One thing I do want to point out with Richie here, huge inventory reduction clearance sale going on right now. Folks, I know we're on radio, but if you were inside this showroom, I mean, folks sitting around buying deals, showroom's full, and there's a reason. It's all about great deals here at Falls Auto, no doubt about it, and they definitely take care of their customers. I invite everyone to come on down, extended hours during this sale. Come on down and check out the crew here in the gang. Hey, while you're here, tell Richie hello. You know, Richie Smiley, he loves to meet new people and things like that. Come on down and take advantage of the great news that they have. I did want to point that out.
Very good, very well said. Real quick before we leave, so Richie, what are you doing this weekend?
Going Corbin game.
Going to the Corbin game. Yeah. All right, very good. Michael, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, I will probably be over at the Lynn Camp football game, and then obviously have some more radio duties throughout the weekend. So that's basically what my weekend has going on.
Well, let's see. I got some other radio duties as well that maybe, again, we may have some other people on here.
Sure,
maybe
maybe,
Mr.
yeah.
Grigsby, so we'll talk about that here after the show. But the main thing this weekend is I'm going to get in front of the TV set Saturday night, 6 p.m. ESPN. It is Oklahoma. It is Tennessee. Boomer Sooner. That's all I'm going to say.
And NFL tonight.
Oh yeah, the cheaters in New England, right?
Football season.
So New England and Pittsburgh tonight. Who do you got? Take it to the bank real quick.
New England.
New England, Richie.
New England.
All right.
To the bank.
I don't care either one of those teams. All I got to say is,
And I will mention this.
Go ahead.
There's no flat tires here.
no flat tires here, right? No deflated tires here. 2 words for the NFL. Who day. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us again this evening. For Coach Scotty Russell, for GM Richie Grigsby, and for the beautiful-looking JT Elliott / Michael Hensley. Thanks a lot, Michael, for stepping in tonight.
Hey, I had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
All right, and this is your host, Steve Black. Again, thank you all for joining us. Join us again next week, Thursday at 6 p.m., here live on 96.1 and again on YouTube as well. And that's all I like to say for everybody out there. Have yourselves a super sports weekend. Good night, everybody.